Hi everyone and welcome to my place. Before I go any further, I just need you to know that all of this behind me, which shouldn't be here, is only here because Sunday was the day that we started. We picked the grapes and we've got the first lot of fermentation of my wine happening, and that was the easiest place because there was nowhere else and it's nice and warm there. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about quick and easy ways of producing something really lovely for Easter and projects as requested for you nans out there and grandmas that want to do flowers with the grandchildren. I have got you covered, or mums and dads to do something with the kids, of course. Right, what I've done here is I've found this wonderful wicker basket. Now this is my nan's, and this came from, my dad's from Belfast. This came from Ireland, I would say probably 60 years ago. It is one of the most versatile containers that I have in this house, and I use it constantly for all sorts of things. Doesn't need to just be for potatoes, and it's got a nice name and like shillelagh, but it's not that's not it, but I just love it. But now, and the other thing I've done is I've used this wreath here. Now I should have painted it green, but I didn't have time for doing that. But anyway, it's just an Oasis brand fresh green wreath that I've sprayed. And then what I've done is, I'll just put that there for a minute. What I've done is I've got a whole lot of magnolia leaves, and instead of using the green shiny side, because I've got the wicker basket, I want to connect all the textures together. So I've just turned it over and used the reverse, and I've just got little clips like this. And what I've done is I've just laid those like you would as if you're doing a laurel wreath, laid those all over each other like a woven pattern, and then just use little bits of wire like this, just little wire clips, and I'll put it down there so you can have a look at it, just that size there, and to hold everything in place. Right, the next thing to happen is I'm going to put that back into the basket like so, and you'll see what I mean by the lovely textures, and it'll all come to fruition as to why I've done what I've done in due course. Right, I thought I would like to use some gerberas. Now, if you're new to flowers, you could use chrysanthemums if you wanted to, or maybe you've got dahlias in the garden. I don't know where you are in the world, but when you buy the gerberas, and I really love them because they're like an oversized daisy, and they're usually bright, vibrant colors. When you buy them, they've got the rubber bands at the top and the bottom, and they've got these little wee plastic sleeves at the top. Leave those on it until you're ready to design with them. Right, into here, and the other thing I'm going to do before I go any further is cut all these off. I know that that's really bad to do that. What a waste that was, but you know, they should start having them in different lengths for me to use, and that's all going to the compost because we're into composting at this house. Right, take these all out very carefully, and you'll see why I said very carefully. See how that's gone like that? That's been damaged, and what will happen is, the other thing is, to know whether it's fresh or not, that there looks like it's got a little bit of mold happening onto it. So when you're buying them, make sure you just check that, because the other thing is once those little petals start to come out, they all start coming out. It's like chrysanthemums. So I'll just put that to one side, and I'll just get these and I'll cut those now as well, and cut that rubber band off. Sometimes the rubber band, when the grower sends them to the market, might do those too tight, and that can also cut off. If there's any kind of moisture, that'll cut it off there so that the heads will fall off anyway. Right, do all of this before you start, and I could have done it before we started, but I thought that we might as well have a wee lesson in care and maintenance of flowers before we got too far. And the other thing, as I said, is with those little sleeves, that keeps all the little petals upright before they fall out, and they are going to, when I put them into this design, they are going to go clonk out. I'm also thinking that these might be a bit too long, but we'll see how we go. Right, get those in first because they are they're the most delicate, and we're going to be using leucopendrons and little mini, I'll put that into there. Now, is that going to be too high? Yes, that is going to be too high. I want these so that when placed, as they had that little sleeve on, I know that looks like I'm being rough, but I'm not being rough. I want these so that when they go in, I'm going to cut all of those now. So in my notes, I think I might have said to have cut them to about 2 inches. Well, it'll just depend on how much you're using as to how short you cut them. So I want these to be equally placed around the exterior and to just rest on. Aren't they beautiful? Look at the colours. How great is that? Now hopefully I've got this at the right length. Push that through there, and using the pencil is a much better way of doing it, because you just know that you're not going to be able to, if you try and push that little delicate thing through the stiffness of those these big leaves, you just know that something's going to come off second best, and invariably it's going to be the flower. Okay, and it's the same with things like if you're doing anything and you're using calla lilies, do this method as well. Push that into there, and I've got, actually I don't want that one there. Do you see that? This is very bad when you do in and out like that. Your best one hit wonder is what you should be doing. Right, get rid of all of this here. Now the next thing I want to put in is the leucopernums, and I'm also going to have to, this is such an easy way of getting kids into flowers. And I remember my nan teaching me how to do things like this. Right, I've only got 5 leucopernums, so I'm going to have to be pretty careful with how I approach the time, because I want these evenly dispersed. So I'll bring one down into there. I'm actually thinking as I'm going through, I need 6, but maybe we can just do something a little bit clever over here. Put the next one in. The other thing is that what I've done with the stems when I've cut them off, I've cut that off on a slant. That makes it easier to insert into your foam. Just a little slant cut, like almost like a dart. Now, I'm not balanced, and this could really drive me crazy that I've got 2 here, 1 in between those and 1 there. So what I think I could do is, no, I can't solve this. Or can I solve this? No, I can't solve it. But what I do have is I've got 4 pineapples, and I really love these little mini pineapples. They are so easy to work with. And the other thing is that if you're doing terrariums, if you put this little top bit there, just like a normal pineapple, into some sandy water in a terrarium, that will actually grow, which is quite good. I like it. So these are quite hard. In fact, they're not as hard as I thought that they would be. I thought I'd have got those in there, but I can't. So I'm just going to stick these in to sit above the leucopernums, and I've got 2 left. So cut that off there, push that into there, and because I've got the 2 here, no, I can't do that either. It's just going to annoy me, but never mind. We'll just suck it up, shall we? Suck it up and know that I'm not even. And, you know, in designing, they say that a wreath, because it is round, should be even, but we're just going to break every rule today. So that's just a wee tip, you know, use 5s and 5s and 4s and evenly distribute them. Right, the next thing that's going to go into here is I found this wicker little ball. I'm sure that somebody out there will be very clever at making these, but even a cane ball would do, or something that's going to match in with the wickers or the textural qualities that you're using. It's got a little bit of green on it. It's artificial, but you know, it'll do me. It's quite a nice little form, and all I want to do now is to place that on there. And then I found these beautiful little chocolate carrots, and I think that they are just fabulous. And what I want to do with these is to just stick those in amongst those little holes, like so. Oh, how cute is this? I know our little Grandel's going to absolutely love this, but I think that any child would love this design. Let me get rid of this. Let me push this over to there for you to have a look at. How cool's that? The kids will love learning how to do flowers, and it's as I said, it's a great way of teaching them. Well, for me anyway, is like with different textures, you've got to be careful. So it teaches those tactile skills that a lot of kids are losing. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed sharing it with you. Happy Easter, and I will see you another day.